Thank you, Jonathan. Well, there is a great noise inside Wembley and great colour too. The yellow away to our right-hand side, where Watford, the players, were greeted with yellow, red and black flags away to our right as they just break from a huddle in their yellow and black striped shirts and black shorts. Wolves are in all white, and as the Wolves players came out, they were greeted by a mosaic. The Wolves emblem on the top tier, Wolves the letters on the bottom tier, and it's the Wolves supporters you can hear who have travelled down in their numbers on the trains, and the gold and black all the way down the M40 to Wembley this morning. At times it was just being like outside Molineux as the game is underway here, this first half of the second of the FA Cup semi-finals, and Chris Sutton, we're expecting a tight affair.
Well, it's got the feel of an absolutely enormous game. Two sides have overachieved this season.
Wolves are on the attack, and it's a dipping effort from Johnny, who was forward just in the penalty area on that left side. Wolves in all white, playing from left to right, got it out onto his right foot, a curling effort that probably in the end was about a foot wide.
Wasn't too far away. What a start from Wolves, moving the ball quickly through the midfield. Johnny is going to maraud forward on that left-hand side for Wolves, chopping in on his right foot, tries to bend it into that far top corner, not far away.
If you missed the team news earlier for Watford, Pereira fit. He had been a doubt with a hip injury. They've made two changes with the goalkeeper Gomez replacing Foster, and the other change, Gray, coming in for De La Feu. So Watford line up with Gomez in goal, a back four of Kiko, Cathcart, Mariappa and Holebas. They're playing a diamond in the midfield, Capoue at the base of that diamond with Hughes and Decore, Pereira at the tip of it behind Gray and Troy Deeney. For Wolverhampton Wanderers, they have made three changes from the side that beat Manchester United. Another change in goal, as expected. Ruddy for Patricio, as he has been the cup goalkeeper throughout the season. Johnny for Vinagre and Saiss for Bennett. So Ruddy is in goal, the back three of Saiss, Cody and Bolly, Doherty the right wing back, Johnny the left wing back, Neves and Moutinho with Dendoncker in the midfield, and then you've got Jota and Jimenez, who of course this week became Wolverhampton Wanderers club record signing. He had of course been on loan from Benfica, but a permanent deal till 2023 after signing for £30 million. Watford with Pereira over on the far side, can't thread it through, comes back to Pereira, tries to get on to the end of that ball in the penalty box, and the referee, who is Michael Oliver, signals a corner kick as Watford have a corner. And let's not forget that VAR is in action, and also, as it was yesterday, will be displayed on the giant screens at either end of Wembley Stadium, which must be close to capacity. There's just one section I can see on that middle tier on the far side that has a couple of empty sections, but certainly very healthy support at the Wolves end away to our left. And that is of course where Watford are attacking, and that's where our eyes are trained, as a corner kick is over on that far side. Wolves in all white have everybody back. Corner kick, in swinger, punched away by Ruddy, collected on this near side by Pereira. In it goes once again, and Ruddy with a take, and a comfortable take by John Ruddy.
Yeah, important first punch as well. He was under pressure from Andre Gray, standing on his toes. Interesting one, isn't it, the goalkeepers, Ian?
It is.
The fact that they aren't first choice at their clubs, getting the opportunity in a competition, those clubs clearly want to win.
The other thing is that certainly the Wolves manager Nuno Espirito Santo, not only consistent in terms of the goalkeeping change for the cup competitions, the fact that Ruddy once again is playing, but also if you look back at the cup competitions this season when he's done that, Will Norris, the former Cambridge goalkeeper, is on the bench as Jota, and the referee's given a free kick as Jota must have been clipped outside the penalty area. So Will Norris is on the bench, no place for Rui Patricio, which is consistent for Wolves throughout the season. Ben Foster, the Watford number one, is among the substitutes. But as Will Hughes protests his innocence to referee Michael Oliver, this is very, very dangerous. And Ruben Neves, his name is being chanted by the Wolverhampton Wanderers support. This is very much within shooting distance, Chris.
Yeah, and I thought it was a free kick. The ball rattled in to Jota, who takes a lovely first touch and gets away from, I guess, Mariappa, who impedes him. 21, 22 yards out.
And what's interesting is that it's Moutinho who has taken the step back almost as if he was a rugby union fullback. The way he's measured the ball, 3 steps back, then 1 step to the side. Neves is also there. Watford have everybody back. Moutinho, stuttering run-up, strikes it right-footed and hits the roof of the net and goes out for a goal kick. Close, 0-0.
I tell you what, he wasn't far away. Right-footed over the wall. I don't think Gomez was getting that. His hands on his face. Moutinho, he knows how close that was. Inches away. Gomez, a little skip towards the ball, but nowhere near it.
Vastly experienced. He's won the Portuguese Cup with both Sporting Lisbon and Porto. You look through this Wolverhampton Wanderers side, they've got players who've played in the Champions League and the World Cup and the European Championships. And only Conor Cody has ever been at this stage of a competition in the FA Cup before. He was part of a Sheffield United side that was beaten by Hull City a number of years ago, losing 5-3 with Sheffield United. As the ball is played forward by Saiss, Dendoncker will go back to the aforementioned Cody. Plays at the heart of that 3-man defence for Wolverhampton Wanderers. BBC Radio 5 live here at Wembley Stadium. 6:06 will follow with Chris and Ali Bruce Ball. 08085909693. And as this, of course, after we've already brought you Everton beating Arsenal by a 1-0, so all of a sudden Everton find themselves now sandwiched in between Wolves and Watford, because if Manchester City were to win the FA Cup next month, then 7th place would mean European football, and that's what Everton and these two are also vying for. Of course, these two have the eyes on going all the way and stopping the quadruple for Pep Guardiola's side, who yesterday beat Brighton by a 0-0. Free kick to Watford, 6 yards forward of the centre circle. Everybody is in the Wolves half away to our left. It's Holebas who delivers the ball deep in the penalty area, headed down by Bolly. Kiko tried to play the ball in. Good header out by Johnny. Comes towards Capoue, charged down. Another good header there, that time by Saiss. Pereira will pick up the ball on this left-hand side to Deeney. We welcome listeners to the BBC World Service to Wembley Stadium for this second FA Cup semi-final, where we have been playing for 7 minutes. It's 0-0. It's a very competitive contest. 0-0 here. Ruddy to take the goal kick for Wolves. He's been here before. He's tasted success with Norwich City in the playoff final as John Ruddy. It's his 9th appearance of the season, and only one of them has been in the Premier League. He is the Cup specialist keeper. As Watford stop the attack, Decore plays it forward. Gray, very good intervention by Bolly, because otherwise Gray would have been running at both Cody and Saiss, but a diving challenge, got there first, got the ball.
Positive selection from Javi Gracia, and with 2 strikers. They're playing a diamond in midfield, so they have that extra body in the middle of the park, but seen in the early stages Diogo Jota just dropping in on that holding man, Capoue.
Deeney with a flick header, looking towards Gray, runs off the head of Bolly, but Gray was in an offside position, and that will be a free kick. Javi Gracia, who was a guest on Gary Richardson's Sports Week programme this morning between 9 and 10 on 5 Live, was telling Gary that he's got 3 boys, a 13-year-old and 2 11-year-old son, going around the house singing the Watford songs. They'll be somewhere in the royal box, I'm sure. Wouldn't be etiquette, I don't think, the protocol to break out into chants, would it, from...
Well, maybe if they score.
Or maybe. They won't be alone. The end away to our right, I'm sure, will explode. Pereira caught by Saiss. It was a sharp turn by Pereira.
Was a lovely turn. He'll be lucky to get away with this, Saiss.
Yellow card.
Yeah, and deserved, I think. And that was a big call for Nuno to go with Saiss. A better footballer, I think we would say, than Ryan Bennett, but defensively I don't think he's that good, and now he's put himself under pressure. It was a strong challenge. Lovely touch from Hughes to release Pereira. An easy decision for the referee.
Sort of yellow card is shown to the Moroccan international. Watford have a free kick. Saiss has just got a blow to the face in the minute. He's just being tended to by the physios to stop that flow of blood. So there is a slight stoppage in play. A reminder that the live football will continue over the next few days on 5 Live. Chelsea, West Ham tomorrow night, and then the Champions League quarter-finals. Tottenham, Manchester City. Chris and myself will be there at the very impressive Tottenham Stadium. And Liverpool-Porto will be on Sports Extra, and on Wednesday night we're at Old Trafford for Manchester United against Barcelona. And then of course you've got the golf on Thursday night to look forward to. Mark Chapman heading out our team at Augusta for the US Masters over the next 4 days. Change of shirt required for Saiss as well, because obviously there was blood on that white jersey. They're temporarily down to 10 men. Capoue will float the ball forward in towards the penalty area, kept alive by Kiko. No, flags up on that far side. It had gone out of play, and it will be a goal kick. 0-0 first 10 minutes of this. What we expected was going to be a tight cup tie has been played, and at the minute it's running very much to form.
Yeah, good intensity, and that was a well-worked free kick. Kiko on the overlap, far away from keeping it in. Inventive from Watford. It started at a good pace, hasn't it, the game?
Certainly has. As Ruddy's going to take the goal kick. Good pace to the game, good noise. On one is a very bright Wembley Stadium, with the gold to our left and the yellow to our right. Moutinho. Neves dropping back. That was another one of the changes that they made in the second half of the season. Mentioned earlier when we were speaking with Jonathan Overend about how Dendonker's come into the side, but what they did when they allowed Dendonker to come back into the midfield to tidy it up there in the middle of the park, they dropped Neves a little bit further back to be almost a pivot alongside Moutinho. Costa is the one who's suffered, as we were saying, but that was that tactical change, that little tweak that Nuno Espirito Santo has made in the second half of the season, where Wolves have certainly fared very, very well back in the big time. It's hammered downfield by Mariappa. And the thing is that, as we both said to each other when we saw each other earlier on today, you know, they've taken more points against the top 6 than they have against the bottom 6. Well, I mean, Huddersfield have only had 3 wins all season, and 2 of them against Wolves.
You couldn't make it up, could you? And then, you know, you think that Wolves have beaten the likes of Chelsea, they've beaten Spurs here at Wembley, Liverpool, Manchester United twice in the last 3 games. I mean, that is some achievement, isn't it, for a side who, OK, spent a bit of money, but they spent it wisely. A team who've come up from the Championship, and they've made such an impact. One of the best teams ever to come out of the Championship.
And judging by their intentions this week, £30 million for Jimenez, they're going to continue to try and break into that top 6 in the top echelons of the Premier League. Of course, European football would bring its own demands if, of course, they were to be successful, but that's what they're both vying for. And to be fair to Wolves as well, throughout this competition, they have gone with strong sides even in the very early stages. Watford didn't. Watford, I remember, against Newcastle, made 11 changes in the 4th round.
Yep, and it was a bit of a strange one, that. I think we could understand to some extent the changes against Woking the round previous to that, but what an opportunity for them now. And a good win away. Queen's Park Rangers beat Palace, did Watford.
Only conceded 1 goal in those 4 games as well, Chris. Cathcart to take the free kick, right-footed, goes long. Going to drop in just inside the penalty area. Bolly and Deeney both jump in the air and goes over both and out for a goal kick. After that bright sort of like 10 minutes, the last 3 or 4 minutes have just slowed down a fraction.
Yes, they have done, and looking forward to that battle. I always like watching Troy Deeney play. Real physical presence, leader. It's important that Gray gets in and around him and close to him. It's a big call, Gray, over Delafeu, who you'd say is more creative than Gray. He'll be robust, a bit more pace, but more of an out-and-out centre forward than Deulofeu.
Well, you know all about striking partnerships and players acting as a foil. The only thing is with Gray, this is his fourth start in 2019. When he's come off the bench, he's made a difference. He's scored his last 3 goals have been as a substitute. And I think you were right what you said earlier on, Chris, that Javi Gracia has gone very much with the player in form in his eyes, as Hughes wins the ball over the halfway line. Loses out though as Moutinho will win it back. All white, Wolverhampton Wanderers. Forward ball from Moutinho, who's expecting Doherty to make that run. We haven't really seen much of Doherty on this right-hand side yet.
No, seen the outlet has been Johnny on the left-hand side, but it's so compact in the middle of the field. So many bodies in there. That's where the space is for Wolves. Those wide areas. They've been good this season, Doherty and Johnny.
Well, back in October at Molineux, Watford won by 2-0 against Wolves. It's probably one of their best away performances, as here they have a free kick awarded by referee Michael Oliver on the halfway line. Pereira thought about taking it quickly and now will wait. Will Hughes, always been a fan of Will Hughes when I saw him as a teenager at Derby County with that shock of blonde hair. And a couple of bad injuries in his career, but goal-scoring midfielder as Pereira will play the ball out towards Kiko. Bit of space for him to control the ball. Goes back inside towards Capoue. And Capoue now leaves it for Cathcart. Left of the centre circle. Capoue lets it run through to Mariappa. Kiko on that far side. Tries to thread it through but quickly closed down by Moutinho as they attack the end, which is full of the hordes of Wolverhampton Wanderers supporters. Away to our left-hand side. BBC Radio 5 Live and the World Service from the BBC. It's 0-0 in this FA Cup semi-final with the right to play Manchester City. Back here on May the 18th.
The Wolves, they're just happy, aren't they? This is what they do. They just camp in, break at such pace, don't they? That's where they're a cut above most of the other counter-attacking teams in the Premier League. They have that pace going forward and that creativity in the middle of the park. It's a good blend.
Well, that roar you heard in the background when Chris was talking was from the Wolves supporters, and it was a roar as Moutinho now will lift it forward. Johnny left-hand side. Johnny up against Mariappa. Into the penalty area he goes. It was Jota who'd made a run towards the near post. Couldn't get enough on it. Maybe took it away from Jimenez. Kept alive by Doherty. In towards Jimenez. Right corner of the penalty area. Mexican turns, caught by Decore, and that will be a free kick to Wolverhampton Wanderers.
Decent opportunity though for Wolves, and that's where they've had their joy. Down that left-hand flank, ball whipped in. Jota just a couple of yards beyond the near post. It's the slightest deflection, can't get it on target. But this is a chance. Jimenez and the right-hand side, sharp turn. Moutinho over the ball.
Decore wasn't booked though, but Moutinho is going to take this free kick for Wolves.
I don't think that warranted a booking though.
No. Just in from the right touchline. Watford have everybody back. Moutinho will deliver it. Right-footed, crowded penalty area, taken off the head of Bolly. Break potentially on for Watford with Gray over on the far side, and will win a throw. As it was Neves who'd just come across to shut down the avenue on that far side, the right. Well, said to you early on, wouldn't be surprised if this goes to extra time as we approach 20 minutes here at Wembley Stadium. Seen nothing to change my mind.
3-3 extra time or 0-0?
0-0.
How negative is that?
Well, hold on. When Pat Nevin said to you earlier that there might be a hatful of goals, you were quick to disagree with Pat, so I presume that we both agree with each other. As Gray, right-hand side of the penalty area, Kiko tries to offer some support. Johnny is back there who will turn and will win a goal kick as Kiko charges down the clearance and it goes for a goal kick. So I can only imagine that you, likewise, Mr. Sutton, think it will be 0-0.
Well, no, I'm on autopilot in terms of disagreeing with Pat. I think that's what that was really. No, but I mean,
can I just say, aren't you on autopilot with disagreeing with everybody?
No, I disagree with that. That's interesting the way Watford, have set up, because we know the way Wolves play, and Wolves want Watford to come onto them because they are so devastating on the counter. But Watford being cagey in the early stages.
Holebas will get a throw as Jimenez closes him down. Nuno Espirito Santo and Javi Gracia, both of the two managers, are in their technical areas watching on. Garcia, who's never reached a final, was saying that it would be the best achievement of his career. He's been in a semi-final before with Ruben Kazan when he was out in Russia as Holebas in front of the Watford manager. Did any favours there from Capoue, and he really had to stretch and in fact didn't keep the ball in play, as Wolves will take a throw on the right hand side, and Jota out to Johnny. Jota makes the run ahead of him, tried the first time cross, Mariappa got the block, Hughes then will play it out to Kiko. Watford will bring the ball away, they're midway through their own half. It's still goalless on BBC Radio 5 Live and the World Service from the BBC here at Wembley.
Got to do better than that. Gray has ball not sticking. Bowley taking it off him.
Long clearance by Ruddy. Cathcart, the Northern Ireland international, heads it on. Flicked on them by the head of Deeney. Lifted up in the air from Neves of Wolves. Doherty for Wolves will play it forward. Dendoncker, hardly mentioned Dendoncker at the moment. He had a little touch there, then loses out. Capoue gets it back from Hughes. Outside the centre circle of the Watford half. Remember, they've got the yellow backs to the shirts, but on the front it's the yellow and black striped shirts as Watford.
Capoue's taking a sore one there.
Yes, he's getting back to his feet now in the centre circle. Pereira is deep, central position, forward, about 10 yards forward of the centre circle, out to Kiko, right hand side, back towards Pereira. Pereira gets away from one challenge. Was that a dive or was that a trip? He goes to ground. Referee Michael Oliver says nothing, and the ball runs out of play, and it will be a Wolves throw on that far side.
Yeah, good ball retention from Watford, made some passes. Pereira wanting the free kick, I don't think it was.
I was here when you mentioned that they'd beaten Tottenham. Wolverhampton Wanderers just after Christmas. It was December the 29th. It was a very impressive win. They beat Spurs by 3-1. That was their first match here at Wembley since May 1988, when they won the Associate Members Cup 2-0 against Burnley. Andy Mutch and Robbie Dennison were the goal scorers that day. Steve Ball was out being interviewed on the big screen ahead of the kick-off. He got a terrific ovation, as you'd expect. A Wolverhampton Wanderers legend from the Wolves supporters as the ball goes long towards Doherty. And it's the Wolves supporters who are making the noise, as you can hear in the background, as Jimenez picks the ball up. Dendoncker with his back to goal, turns. Neves quickly sweeps it out towards the left-hand side. Johnny takes it on the chest. Johnny has some support inside by Jota. Left corner of the penalty area. Tries to work over the cross. Blocked, picked up now by Pereira. Is there a counter-attack on for Watford? Deeney will roll it forward. Decore has made that run. And Decore, well, he's turned inside the centre circle. He's tried to quickly play it out towards the right-hand side. But what he didn't realise is that Gray had made a diagonal run from that area into a central position, and they've lost the ball.
He saw something which just wasn't there. Lovely pass from Deeney, though, through the Wolves midfield into Decore.
Still goalless, by the way, between Coventry City and Bristol Rovers in League One. Coventry City, who, well, a win would take them a little bit closer towards the playoffs. Bristol Rovers, though, are only 2 points above the relegation zone for what is an extremely congested bottom half of the table in League One. So that's 0-0 in League One. And of course earlier Everton beating Arsenal by 1-0, which is a real setback for Arsenal. Pereira, great for Everton though. Holebas, short forward ball, left hand side. Pereira collects it, looks to turn. Neves has gone with him. Pereira wriggles past Neves, and this will be a yellow card. And it's the second Wolverhampton Wanderers player to be booked, and once again Pereira causing problems. Both have been booked for fouls on Pereira.
Yep, and I think correct from Michael Oliver. He elects to twist, gets a yellow card out, but really good feet from Pereira. Little nutmeg on Neves. Neves pulls him back.
So Holebas is going to take the free kick, 2 or 3 yards up from the byline, left of the penalty area. Wolves have everybody back, every white shirt back there. Holebas goes towards Hughes on the half volley.
It's a chance for him. It really is. Such a good player, such a good technician. Will Hughes is well worked. He's just hanging out on the right hand side of the box, drifts in. It's on the half volley, but he slices it wildly up in the air. Will Hughes. Bit inventive, Watford have. A couple of set pieces.
Interesting just to watch the movement of Pereira. He's dropping in a very central, he's finding pockets of space, and at the minute nobody's going with him. I don't know whether Dendoncker is trying to track him.
They've got an overload, haven't they, in the middle of the park. He's at the point of the diamond. He's drifting.
Ball hoisted by Kiko, headed away by Dendoncker, picked up by Watford. Gray tries to thread it through, comes to Deeney, first time shot, and in the end it was a wild and wayward effort from Troy Deeney off his right foot, sails into the Wolves' end, 0-0.
That came from Pereira as well. Clever little reverse pass, left-footed into Gray inside the box. He tried to follow his pass, did Pereira. Cody got a decisive block in, and Deeney 22 yards out, central position, lashes the ball into the stand.
Tell you what might well be a talking point when you're doing 606 later on is that Mesut Ozil, I've just seen some footage of Mesut Ozil throwing what looked like a training jacket in the direction of Unai Emery when he was replaced earlier on. You might want to see that, because I'm sure that Arsenal fans who are heading back from Goodison might well be wanting to give you and Ali a call on 080859009 and 693. I don't think there'll be any shortage of talking points. Just hope you fare better in sudden death than you did earlier in the warm-up with me. Anyway, 0-0 here at Wembley.
Wow, self-praise is no praise. Have you not heard of that?
Listen, if nobody blows your own trumpet. Here is Doherty. Jimenez level the penalty area. Cathcart goes with him. Jimenez plays it forward into the penalty area, and that was a good bit of defending from Kiko, because making the run in behind him was Jota, but he tucked in, tracked well, did the fullback. Holebas now forward, closed down quickly by Saiss. Holebas controls the ball for Watford, and there is Dendoncker. Very, very tight.
Yeah, all Wolves' threat has come down their left-hand side and Watford's right-hand side. They haven't had a lot of joy on the opposite side.
Holebas forward, headed away by Bolly. 3 central defenders were quite close together there. Little flick there by Deeney with the head. Saiss will turn, clears it away, left-footed, headed back by Capoue on the halfway line. Doherty tidies up back towards Saiss, but on the corner of his own penalty area for Wolverhampton Wanderers, spreads play out towards Bolly. Now they spread out the back 3. Hughes has gone to try and close down Bolly, and it goes out of play. Fair play to Will Hughes.
Yep. Good high press from Watford. Saiss a crossfield ball into Bolly, who took the touch, but Will Hughes on the right hand side of the diamond, first out pressing him, and wins the throw in.
Nothing between the two sides though, as we've been playing for 28 minutes and it's still 0-0. Decore, Capoue, Cathcart now in the centre circle, quickly across to Holebas, who'll play it back to the Northern Ireland international, goes square to Mariappa. Mariappa on the halfway line, long diagonal ball. Deeney had peeled away to the left corner of the penalty area. Deeney complains about the service as it goes out for a goal kick. Chris Sutton.
Yeah, he's giving Holebas, I think it's Kiko, an ear bashing there, saying just drop it in, I can't jump that high. Both sides being quite direct, missing out the midfield. No risk football. A lot at stake though, isn't there?
Certainly is. Watford looking for their first FA Cup final in 35 years, and in fact only their second in their history. And for Wolverhampton Wanderers, their first final since 1960. Gray shows too much to Cody of the turn. Doherty, Neves will clear on the corner of his own area. Guided header in field though by Cathcart for Watford. Capoue will go back, Mariappa. Watford are being forced back though by the presence of Jimenez. Moutinho is the one to break forward on that occasion. They try and play through. Capoue then out towards Kiko on that right hand side. Watford, who've won just one of 6 games at Wembley. In fact, they've lost their last 4. The latest was when they were beaten here by Tottenham in January by 2-1. Contrast that though to Wolverhampton Wanderers. They've won their last 6 games at Wembley. Only Arsenal and Tottenham have won more consecutive matches inside this stadium.
That's hardly surprising, Tottenham.
It's still a statistic. But you're right, that one isn't a surprise. Arsenal, I think, can take greater credit. Up towards Deeney, just drops the other side of Cody, tries to play it forward towards Gray. Deeney wins it back. Momentarily they'd lost it. Here is Holebas on the left hand side, little back heel. Deeney with a ball in towards the penalty area, and it was an outstretched leg. The flag had stayed down as well from Andre Gray.
Well, I think he's onside, but what an opportunity. They don't come much easier than that. That was the big chance of the first half. I don't know why he doesn't go with his head. Andre Gray, it's a ball whipped in right, I think it's right-footed, an in-swinging ball, and he is onside. Is a yard onside. You go with your head, you don't miss there. I think Ruddy's presence put Andre Gray off, but if he's braver, Watford would be ahead.
Here is Doherty at the other end for Wolverhampton Wanderers. Low ball stopped by Holebas. If you're thinking of the Wolverhampton Wanderers and Andy Gray, if he's of that ilk with a diving header brave, Watford are ahead.
Well, the other thing is, I don't think you miss with a header from there. It's all just about getting the right connection, head it down. With the volley, it went over the bar. What a chance.
In fact, I'm thinking from Watford, we talked before about not being in an FA Cup final since 1984. George Riley would have loved that level of service from Troy Deeney. It was a great ball in, wasn't it?
Right on the money. And Ruddy was rooted. He was nowhere, but that wasn't... Well, that was down to the quality of the ball. And a grey day so far for Watford.
But in a tight contest, that by far the best opportunity in this first half on 5 Live and the World Service. 13 minutes to go to half-time. Still 0-0. It's the Watford fans now who are generating the noise. Very steady pace as Capoue will amble onto the ball, left of the centre circle, and now Kiko on that far side. Capoue plays it forward, very leisurely, Watford in possession. Holebas, little flick by Deeney, Decore makes the run off him, crosses into the penalty area, clearance is blocked. Neves and Doherty now will clear on the half volley.
Deeney starting to really get an influence in this game. A lovely touch with the outside of his right foot to release Decore, left hand side of the box, but defended by Wolves.
Pumped long by Kiko, and Doherty heads the ball back. At the minute, would you say that Watford and Deeney and Pereira, who we've mentioned earlier, have the 2 players who are looking to try and create something, whereas at the minute Wolves haven't done anything in open play? They've only had that Moutinho effort from the free kick, haven't they?
Yeah, the chance in the first minute, I think, from Johnny when he came back on his right foot and bent it narrowly wide, but it's the way Wolves play, isn't it? They won't panic.
Here is Neves outside of the right boot even, trying to carve it forward. Joshua had gone in an advanced position. Jimenez had dropped off, but it goes all the way through to Gomez. So both teams changing their goalkeepers. Aurelio Gomez, who's played, like Will Hughes, in every round of the FA Cup this season. The only 2 players to do so for Watford, and for John Ruddy as well. who's never been beyond, he was telling Jonathan Overend this week, never been beyond round 3.
John Ruddy.
John Ruddy.
Tell you what, he made a save in the game against Liverpool. An unbelievable fingertip save. Wolves won that night, huge win.
Johnny. Dendoncker from distance. Good save by John Ruddy. We were just talking about him. Dendoncker got it out from underneath his feet, hit it right-footed from 25 yards out, and it was Gomez with a save at the other end.
Yeah, I think it took a slight deflection. It was a fine save from Gomez. He's a long way out, Dendoncker. Well worked, really good feet from Johnny across the midfield. He must be nearly 30 yards out. It's hammered to Gomez right-hand side, real pace on the ball. It does take a deflection off Cathcart, which makes it an even better save from Gomez.
I had Ruddy on my mind then. I know he's a good goalkeeper. He'd have done well to have saved that from his own player. Anyway, it was a good save from Gomez. 0-0. Moutinho takes the corner short. Ball played in. Wolverhampton Wanderers lead. Header at the far post. Doherty pops up. He's enjoying his best goal-scoring season of his career, and he couldn't miss. The ball played in by Jota, and all the joy from Wolverhampton Wanderers away to our left. They strike first, 1-0.
That's a really well-worked corner from Wolves, and Doherty, who scored a number of goals in this competition this season, just drifts round the back post, and he can't miss. The cross is bang on the money, and this isn't the luck of the Irish. It's just keeping his eyes on the ball, staying composed. I think he gets inside Decore, but he's 2 yards out, and Wolves take the lead. Perfectly timed run. The ball, as I said, on the money, and they don't come easier than that.
Well, Wolverhampton Wanderers might not even be here if it wasn't for Doherty, because I remember in the 4th round he popped up with a goal right at the death against Shrewsbury when it was 2-2 to force a replay, and here he is getting the breakthrough goal with his 7th of the season. And Wolverhampton Wanderers now, Jimenez into the penalty area, plays it out and back, and Watford will eventually clear as Mariappa steps forward. Decore then goes back to Gomez.
Well, it's only one, but it's the perfect scenario now for Wolves and Nuno, because his teams are set up to counter-attack, and Watford have to come up with an answer.
Wolverhampton Wanderers supporters celebrating to our left-hand side. They lead by 1-0. The Irish international, but it was all about the delivery from the right-hand side. And Wolves, who've only had 1 win in their last 5 meetings against Watford, have their noses ahead. Mariappa right of the centre circle, cross to Kiko. Little slip by Jimenez, picked up now by Pereira. Tries to get a 1-2 from Hughes, move breaks down. And as Chris Sutton quite rightly says, all of a sudden this suits the counter-attacking style of Wolves as Jota makes a strong run. Jota is still going. Jota's inside the penalty area, and Jota just goes wide.
I tell you what, that would have been goal of the FA Cup had he scored that. Takes it around the halfway line and just keeps going and going. Left-hand side of the box, chops in and tries to drive it into that far corner. I tell you, he wasn't far away at all.
But that's the danger now for Watford that they're going to face. This is what Wolverhampton Wanderers love, to strike on the counter.
Yep, absolutely spot on. I think for Watford it's a case of staying in this. It's only 1 at the moment. They still have to be patient. Watford, they don't need to go gung-ho. I think the disappointment from Javi Gracia will be set piece, essentially.
Hughes plays it forward, headed away by Wolverhampton Wanderers. Pereira brings the ball down, finds Kiko far side, first time cross, strikes the head of Johnny, drops to the edge of the area, goes back inside the penalty box. Deeney trying to turn, but he was crowded out by so many white shirts, and the ball will drop behind, but it will be a corner kick to Watford.
I think Seiss does really well. Deeney backs in, uses his strength, he's probably 7-8 yards out. As the ball's dropping, Deeney takes a touch. Seiss stays on his feet and blocks the shot and loops over for a corner to Watford. Can they work something from a set piece?
Pereira takes the corner short, left-hand side. Watford trailing by a goal to nil. Pereira then back. It's the ball played in. It's a curling ball from Kiko, but right down the throat of John Ruddy. This is the FA Cup second semi-final here at Wembley. 5 Live and the World Service. And those noises you can hear are emanating and reverberating from the end away to our left, because Wolverhampton Wanderers are leading by a goal to nil as we approach half-time. Neves caught in possession by Deeney. Just ahead of Gray. Bolly just stepping out of defence. Forward ball from Bolly. And that will run through to... offside from Jimenez.
But we did 2 big chances in this first half. Watford didn't take theirs. Great golden opportunity to open the scoring for Watford. Hit it over. Doherty took his, couldn't miss.
Speaking to somebody from Watford ahead of the game, and when I've seen Watford this season, I've just felt that they've lacked that clinical edge as Jimenez will drive forward now for Wolves. Jimenez still going in towards the penalty area. Holebas nips back, takes it away off his toes, and he'll bring the ball away. They were wasteful when I saw them at Newcastle earlier in the season. Should have got 3 points against Newcastle at St James's Park. They threw it away at Everton in a 2-2 draw. Rallied late against Manchester City when they were beaten at Vicarage Road, but that great chance was a very good one just past the half hour. But it's Wolves who lead by a goal to nil.
Do you know what, Ian, they missed an opportunity there, Wolves, on the break. Jimenez greedy in that instant. Johnny was marauding up the left hand side, he was on to be fed a pass and he would have been in on goal, but Jimenez elected to go himself.
Doherty, the goal scorer for Wolverhampton Wanderers. All white, playing from left to right as we just sit here right at the halfway line at Wembley Stadium. Doherty will get it back from here along the ground, goes straight towards Capoue. Capoue turns and goes back to Cathcart. Patient play by Watford. Mariappa out to Kiko, far side the right, back with Hughes. Capoue had time to have a little glance over his shoulder before giving the ball back to Hughes. Wolves have dropped off, stroked out to Holebas. The thing is, when we said and we're expecting them to play the diamond formation, you'll know better than me, but when you play the diamond formation, you're very reliant on your fullbacks to provide you the width. And Holebas, they're lacking width on this left-hand side. Kiko's getting forward on the far side, the right. But there isn't much width, is there, to Watford's play?
Yeah, you're quite right. That's where they need to get their width from. They need to get the fullbacks nice and high. But Gray, you have to say, he's had a poor first half, not holding on to the ball. And then Bolly's bullied him, really, in this first half. But it's the perfect scenario for Wolves, just sitting in, everybody behind the ball, 2 strikers behind the ball, and saying, well, do you know what? You can play in front of us, and side to side, we're not going to let you play through us.
Pereira, central area. That's the voice of Chris Sutton on the BBC. As Wolves lead by a goal to nil at half-time, we'll be bringing you reaction from Goodison Park, where earlier Everton, excellent win, beating Arsenal by a goal to nil. Jota with the turn, looking to Jimenez, outstretched boot, couldn't control the ball. Mariappa then will go all the way back towards Gomez.
He's the one, Pereira, isn't he? Because he's the bright spark in the Watford team. When they've got him on the ball, you feel something is going to happen.
And he keeps coming into a central area. Here he is once again to collect the ball out towards Hughes. Hughes has Kiko on the overlap if required on the right hand side. Pereira, though the playmaker, wants it once again. Hughes out towards Kiko, right hand side, crosses deep in towards the penalty area. and it will be kept in play by Holebas. Quickly challenged though by Doherty, and it went out of play, and it will be a Wolves throw right down by the corner flag as we're inside the last 60 seconds of this first half. And it's Wolverhampton Wanderers who lead by a goal to nil.
Do you know what, they do have Deeney in the box, but they need better quality when they get the ball in wide areas. That went from full-back to full-back.
2 minutes of added on time, which we're now into. As over the halfway line on that far side to right, with Watford playing from right to left. Kiko, forward ball towards Hughes. The former Derby County player will take the ball towards the right touchline, gets it back from Kiko midway through the Wolves half, in towards the penalty area it goes. Might fall, hit to Gray! And it's gone wide. Well, another opportunity goes begging from Andre Gray. And in fact, it was an excellent block. It was Connor Cody who just threw himself in front of it.
Well, another big chance for Gray. It's a wonderful ball in from Hughes. Deeney does ever so well. Level with the near post, 8-10 yards out, knocks it down to Gray, who takes a touch. But what a block! It's as good as a goal, that, from Connor Cody. It's going in. What a block.
It was a super block. He just threw himself in front of it, Connor Cody. Ask you whether you feel as if Gray struck it cleanly enough in a minute after this corner kick from Holebas. Going to be an outswinger. Watford have a corner. It's going to come out to Hughes, right corner of the penalty area. Added on time in the first half. Plays their ball short towards Decore. Goes behind for another corner kick. Corner kick to Watford as they look for an equaliser in first half stoppage time.
And this is going to be the last play. Decore down the right-hand side. They've had a couple of really big chances in this first half. Watford just haven't taken them.
Holebas has gone across to take the corner kick on that far side, the right, so this should be an in-swinger. Surely don't take it short, you just got to put it in the mixer. There can't be much more time to be added on. This will be the last bit of action, I'm sure, in the first half. Looking for an equaliser. Watford far side. Holebas with the in-swinger. It was aimed towards Deeney, and indeed referee Michael Oliver does blow his whistle. Watford 0, Wolverhampton Wanderers 1. The goal from Doherty 9 minutes before half-time. Here are the thoughts of Chris Sutton.
Well, Watford have had a couple of chances. Andre Gray, big chance right on half-time, but a superb block from Connor Cody. They should have taken the lead, Watford, when Gray elected to go with his foot rather than his head, 7-8 yards out. Ruddy was rooted, but then Wolves, who have been dangerous on the break, taking the lead from a set piece. Doherty round the back, well worked corner from Wolves, and it's been a game of good intensity, but Wolves ahead at the break.
Half time then here at Wembley. Watford 0, Wolves 1. Jonathan. Thank you, Jonathan. Just had to wait for Jimenez to get some his thighs rubbed, some late treatment as the second half is underway. BBC Radio 5 Live and the World Service from the BBC, with Wolverhampton Wanderers 45 minutes away from being back in an FA Cup final for the first time since 1960. Cup final when Dave Whelan broke his leg, and Bill Slater, the Wolves captain, who sadly passed away in December, led Wolves up the steps. They've been here on 4 other occasions since, but they've lost their last 4 semi-finals. But they have a slender advantage. Full time in the rugby, Northampton 31, Gloucester 40. Neither side has made a change at the start of the second half, as Watford, in their yellow and black striped shirts, playing from left to right as we look, attacking the end where their supporters are housed to our right hand side. Wolves are in the all white, therefore from right to left. So Gomez is in goal for Watford. Kiko, Cathcart, Mariappa and Holebas the defence. They're playing a diamond with Capu at the base of that diamond, Decore and Hughes and Pereira, with Gray and Deeney up front. Wolves in all white have Ruddy in goal, a back three of size, Cody and Bolly, Doherty the goal scorer and Johnny the wing backs right and left respectively, Neves, Moutinho and Dendoncker in the midfield, Jota and Jimenez. Chris Sutton.
Yeah, and you mentioned it, you think it's going to suit Wolves with Watford having to dictate the play in this second half. no real change of shape from either side. It'll be interesting to see how both managers view their benches, and whether Watford will be thinking getting Gray off, who's had a poor first half, and Delafeu on. Different type of player though.
Only the second goal that they've conceded in the FA Cup campaign. The earlier one was in the quarter-final against Crystal Palace, as Wolverhampton Wanderers, who overcame Liverpool in round 3, and Manchester United in the quarter-final, at the minute are on course to meet Manchester City in the final here at Wembley on the 18th of May. As Jimenez into the penalty area, Jimenez with a shot, beaten out by Gomez away to our left-hand side, and cleared away by Watford. Second goal would really put them in a strong position, and Watford at the minute need to dig in.
Yeah, he's a really good all-rounder. Jimenez can hold it in, but will run in behind as well. And it's a decent strike from the angle and a smart save from Gomez. One long ball doing for Watford.
Johnny cuts in from the left-hand side, brought under control by Dendoncker. Out it goes to Saiss on the halfway line, back towards the Belgian international. Cathcart tight with Jimenez, able to turn, looking towards Doherty. Does it run out of play? The answer is no. It's kept in play on that far side, and now Watford with Capoue. Takes it off Cathcart. Pereira outside the centre circle of his own half. Ball played out towards Kiko on the halfway line, then he goes back with a pass towards Mariappa, and it all slows down for Javi Gracia.
What we do know about this Watford team this season, though, they've shown great character. They do have belief and resilience. They're not going to give this one up easily. They need to get this man on the ball more, Pereira, but he's too deep.
The only thing about Watford's results of late, they've alternated. If you look back, the last 6, they've won one, lost one, won one, lost one. They're actually due a defeat if that run was to continue that sequence, and that's the way it's going at the minute, with Wolves leading by a goal to nil, as Jota holds the ball up, plays it out and backwards towards Johnny then to Bolly. Bolly will strike it, looking to continue this excellent winning run that they have at Wembley, looking to make it 7 successive wins here at Wembley Stadium for Wolverhampton Wanderers. Hughes, Kiko, now to Capoue. Every white shirt back behind the ball. Hughes out to Kiko on this right hand side. In comes the cross, headed on by Decore, but his looping header will drop wide of that far left hand post.
Yeah, I think that Wolves will be happy with that. Kiko crossing position halfway inside the Wolves half, and Decore 16 yards out, not going to score from that position. Just looking at that run from Jimenez, he times his runs so well, and actually it's a decent strike on goal. They have that threat, don't they, Jota and Jimenez.
Here is Jota getting away from Cathcart, crossing towards Jimenez and arriving at the far post. Well, it could easily have dropped in. He managed to get something on it off his left foot, but it went up in the air and dropped down on the goal line for Gomez to make the catch. He just threw himself at it. It was a pacey ball delivered in by Jota.
It's a really difficult finish, but Jota, really good pace to get in the crossing position. Jimenez can't quite get the touch.
With a ricochet, the ball reaches Kiko. Watford, Pereira now towards Hughes on this near side, the right. Hughes chips the ball in towards the penalty area. Gray heads it down towards Deeney, tackled though and challenged by Bolly. And then Jota making a nuisance of himself and actually adjudged to have fouled Kiko. And Watford then get themselves a free kick.
Yeah, both managers animated in their technical areas. Feisty old affair, a lot at stake. I mentioned really Bolly at the back for Wolves. Real good scrap with Deeney. He's defended well.
Next goal is absolutely crucial. Watford to level, because if it goes to Wolves, you really would fancy Nuno Espirito Santo's side then going on to book their place in the final. Very hard to see Watford coming back from 2-0 down. Just the one goal between them at the minute. Kiko on the right hand side. Low ball in, little touch there by Hughes, volleyed away then by Neves on the edge of the D. Brought under control by Mariappa. Wolves are reluctant to pursue that ball. The white shirts wait back in their half. Capoue will go long. Little flick there by Deeney, headed on by Decore. I think he took it out of the path of Will Hughes as it breaks down and runs out for a goal kick.
Yeah, long diagonal ball. Watford not frightened to go direct. They've got some big players, but for Wolves it's about matching the physicality of this Watford team. Strong back three, Saiss, Cody and Bowley, and that's their game. Like to go and attack things, head things.
The voices that are booming are that from the Black Country. Wolverhampton Wanderers have packed out that end away towards our left-hand side, looking to try and book their first place in a major cup final since they were here at Wembley in 1980, 39 years ago. That was the League Cup final, but they lead by a 1-0 to what would be another chapter in what has been a fantastic season back in the big time for Wolverhampton Wanderers, and who knows, it may well culminate in European football as Deeney plays a ball into the penalty area, but again it couldn't quite pick out Gray, and it goes out for a goal kick which Ruddy's in no hurry to take.
He is looking for the run of Gray. Deeney, left hand side of the box, 25 yards out, but there's enough here for Watford still. We've created chances. The longer this goes, they're really going to have to risk, throw caution to the wind.
Ball pumped long by Ruddy. Mariappa will win the aerial duel. Now it's out with Johnny. Played forward by Bolly. Little touch by Moutinho, guides it to Jimenez, carves it forward towards Jota. Good football by Wolverhampton Wanderers. Cathcart and Jota in a challenge, and the referee will give a free kick, and Cathcart's going to get a yellow card. He's the first Watford player to be booked.
Yeah. Too strong, too quick. Jota, he's been a menace all afternoon. Has Jimenez down the left-hand side. Faces Cathcart up. Cathcart, thou shall not pass. This is another good opportunity for Wolves. On the left-hand side of the box. 15, 16 yards out.
Not too far away from the left corner of the area. Moutinho and Neves. Two Portuguese players are in communication. Just had a little glance over their shoulder to see what Nuno Espirito Santo wants. This could come from either of them. Neves it is who runs up, and he strikes it! Oh, that's a whisker wide. All it needed was a touch. You had Bolly making a run, you had Saiss making a run. They couldn't head it goalwards, and it whistled past that far post. Still 1-0 to Wolves.
We are right behind this. I thought it was in. Neves gets such good bend on the ball. There are no takers, but I tell you what, it's inches away from Wolves being 2 up. Such great delivery. Gomez rooted absolutely nowhere near it.
Wolves deservedly ahead. BBC Radio 5 Live, 10 minutes into the second half. Watford need to rally. You think how well that Wolves have protected goalkeeper John Ruddy. Those 2 opportunities really to Gray, 31 and 45. Can't really recall too many other opportunities for Watford. Is Javi Gracia thinking of a change and maybe the introduction of De La Feu? Hughes with a little touch, gets it back now from Gray. Hughes to Pereira, overruns it and cleared by Johnny, headed back by Capoue. Still the 1 goal the difference between the two sides. Mariappa just inside his own half. Forward ball. Kiko, down the line it goes on this near side the right, playing from left to right. Hughes loses out in the challenge to Jota. Jota's still tussling away, he's having his shirt pulled, his head grappled, then in his frustration he just has a little kick out there at Kiko, and it'll be a free kick to Watford.
Yeah, silly foul that, but Wolves have to watch the creativity of Hughes and Pereira. And the ball gets in and around their feet. They can make things happen, as we have seen.
They're creeping towards the hour mark at Wembley. Free kick to Watford. Pereira floats it into the penalty area now, and it goes off the head of Deeney and glances well wide for a goal kick. Tell you what, you look at their season this year, in particular here in the capital London, Wolves are actually unbeaten in 6. They've won at West Ham, 3 points at Crystal Palace, they drew at Arsenal, they drew at Fulham. We've already talked about the impressive victory they gained here at Wembley against Spurs before the turn of the year. So they've won 3 and drawn 3, and they're looking to make it unbeaten in 7, and the capital gain would be the reward of a place back here for the final against Manchester City. 1-0 they lead, but Watford are coming forward now. Holebas, the left back, over the halfway line, then cuts it back inside his own half. Mariappa finds Pereira over the halfway line, forward ball lifted towards Gray and then hooked first time, but no quality on that ball from Gray, and it drops out for a goal kick. Chris Sutton.
Well, I don't want to be too harsh on Gray, but so far he may end up scoring, but he's had a shocker, hasn't he? Hasn't held the ball in, had the big chances. I'm sure Andy Gracia would have preferred those chances to fall for the likes of Deeney, but I really don't know what he's thinking there. He just lashes the ball wildly from the left-hand side into the stand, and he should be holding it in.
Jota heads it into the path of Jimenez. Toe ends the ball towards Johnny, midway through the Watford half. Back with Moutinho, forward ball, nice turn by Jimenez, feeds it towards Jota again, good play by Wolves. Jota to the edge of the area, just showed too much to Mariappa, dispossessed him, out of play, it goes for a throw.
How classy is Jimenez at times, such a clever player, such great awareness of what's in and around him.
Johnny challenged by Hughes, goes out for another Wolverhampton Wanderers throw, which Johnny's in no real hurry to take. De La Feu is warming up with the Watford substitutions, or substitutes down below, yet to make that change as he ponders Javi Gracia, as Nuno Espirito Santo, who's used this tight group of players, hasn't he? 18, 19 all season. Throw, Johnny towards Moutinho, tried to hook it goalwards, it breaks towards Jota, pulls it back to Neves, goes from distance, and he screwed it right-footed, well wide. Goal kick.
Yeah, good pressure on the ball from Decore, because we have seen Neves from that range, 30 yards out, strike them in the past. He just cuts across it under pressure from Decore. Got a lovely balance, haven't they, Wolves, in that midfield. The experience of Moutinho and the youthful exuberance of Neves. Such a mature player.
Well, they gave a good account of themselves against Manchester City at Molineux earlier in the season, as at the minute they've got to try and deal with the ball that is pumped into the penalty area. Comes to Pereira. Deeney got a blow on the back of the head. He's just currently coming back into an onside position. Stepping out of defence was Bolly, but he was caught there by Kiko, who wins it back for Watford. Decore out towards Holebas, far side the left. Holebas with a cross, might have taken a bit of deflection, took it away from the head of Bolly. Now it's with Pereira, right hand side, lifts the ball back in. Decore couldn't get there with his header. Kiko was bundled off the ball, and now Jota will try and bring it away. And Jota gets a couple of lucky ricochets there, and Jota's still going. And all of a sudden, he was pulled down there by Holebas, and that surely be a yellow card, and indeed it is.
Yeah, and you'd call that a good foul from Watford's point of view, because Jota, he has so much pace, so much power, and he's away, and it would have been 3v2. But really strong defending, illegal defending from Holebas, but the right thing to do from Watford's point of view. Nuno is absolutely furious. He's gone berserk in his technical area.
Well, he had to stop him because Jota's strength was just too much. A little bit fortunate how he got the ball in the first place, a couple of ricochets, but once he then got away, he was making a strong run at the heart of the Watford defence. So, leading by a goal to nil, Wolverhampton Wanderers have a free kick almost midway through the Watford half. Central position, Moutinho to take it, then goes square. Dendoncker lifts the ball in the penalty area. Jimenez! Super finish off the chest, right-footed, beats Gomez. Wolves increase their lead, and they're set for a golden date in May. The first FA Cup final surely in 59 years, as they lead Watford by 2-0. And he dons a mask in celebration as well. The club record signing, who put pen to paper this week, £30 million till 2023, sends those Wolves fans into raptures.
Well, this is a brilliant finish from Jimenez. I tell you what though, touch and go, whether he's offside or not. He peels away on his chest, hooks it into the net. It's a wonderful finish.
VAR are checking. A VAR check is in progress. Now this should come up on the giant screens.
I think this is touch and go, Ian, I really do. He starts from an offside position. He comes back and it's borderline as the ball's kicked. There's no doubting the finish.
But the angle that we're looking at, they're not... the goal stands, plays back underway.
I mean, the finish deserved it. I mean, brilliant. It should have been a Superman mask. I don't know what mask it was.
It was a super finish, though, wasn't it? Off the chest, right-footed. Brilliant goal.
Well, and that 30 million, an absolute snip. What a partnership, though, Jota and Jimenez. But he has so much to do. As that ball comes in, most players would head it. And I spoke about his awareness earlier. We're just watching the decision. You know, as it's kicked, it is so tight.
But you know what? On the VAR, they were looking, I think, for handball. The action, the replay that we saw wasn't offside. The replay that we saw, as it comes to the chest, is whether it was a handball. From the footage that we saw, they weren't checking for offside.
Well, maybe they should have checked for offside.
Well, it matters not. I mean, it'll be a talking point for you and Ali on 606 08085 909 and 693.
I may be completely wrong, but I think as the ball is kicked, I think he is offside. I think his head is offside. He can score with his head. He doesn't score with his head, but it doesn't matter. As the ball's kicked, I think he's in an offside position. I mean, the quality of the finish is undoubtable, but that's sort of not the point.
But I'm only going when the VAR check was in progress. What was shown inside the stadium was that looking for handball, not for the offside.
Yeah, but what are they doing? It's not VAR, it's the people, it's the officials running the VAR. And I do think they've got that wrong.
2-0 to Wolverhampton Wanderers. Moutinho will take another free kick and it curls straight down the throat of Gomez. There are a number of Mexican flags that are being waved in the Wolverhampton Wanderers end to our left-hand side. Saw one supporter on Wembley Way, in fact a few actually wearing ponchos. Oh, they've taken him to their hearts. And what an important goal. His 16th of the season. He's scored now in 4 rounds of this season's FA Cup, and Will Hughes is the player who's coming off as Dale Feo is coming on.
That's a very strange one, because Will Hughes actually, I think, he's contributed very well to this Watford team. Surprised he hasn't hooked great.
Wolverhampton Wanderers now have a cushion. 5 Live and the World Service from the BBC here at Wembley Stadium, where it would appear on the May the 18th the final will be Manchester City against Wolverhampton Wanderers.
You've gone early, Deno.
Here is Dale Feo asking a lot now for Watford. Kiko, right corner of the penalty area. Wolves have been by far the better of the two teams. Dale Feo. They have the quality. Jimenez, Jota, Moutinho, Neves.
Yeah, but they have the heart as well, don't they? They have the desire. This is a snarling, hungry Wolves outfit.
All the noise comes from the left. And the name that is being chanted is Nuno Espirito Santo. They're lifting the volume, and he has lifted the spirits, he's lifted the club. He led Rio Ave in Portugal to cup finals in 2014. They lost both to Benfica 5 years ago. He's now set his sights on an FA Cup final as Deulofeu, the substitute, is just having a few words with Moutinho. Michael Oliver will just have to calm them down. They were like butting stags there, weren't they? With their heads jarring against each other before referee Michael Oliver just tells them to calm it down. Midway through the second half. And Watford trail by 2-0.
We're going to have all the VAR furore though, aren't we? With that second goal. I think we can, in all honesty, understand why. Because what is the point of VAR if it isn't being used correctly? These are the decisions, I believe, as offside, which they should be getting right. That shouldn't be subjective, Deno.
Well, they've just been using VAR just to check that little bit of nonsense between Moutinho and Deulofeu, as well as players back underway. Well, without doubt, it's a talking point for you and Ali on 606 08085 909 and 693. Looks unlikely that your prediction of going to extra time, Chris, is going to come right. As,
well, I said 3-3.
As Decore, Cathcart, little touch from Capoue. Cathcart now to Kiko. Kiko with a cross in towards the penalty area. Gray's header drops over the crossbar. Goal kick, well marshalled by Ruddy.
Yeah, again, it's not a good crossing position. Halfway into the Wolves half, the ball fizzed in, and been critical of Gray for the chances, or the big chance he had in the first half, but not really much of a chance scoring from there, 16 yards. But just watching the replay again from Jimenez. But let's talk about the finish. Offside or onside, takes it brilliantly to have the awareness and the confidence.
Jimenez has just jumped into Cathcart. That was a bad collision between the two. Jimenez might have actually jarred his hip in the process.
Well, it's a bouncing ball, isn't it? Full-blooded challenge. I'd love to know what the mask is, though, for Jimenez.
It'll be a wrestling one, won't it?
I don't know. I'm not a big wrestling fan. If I'm honest.
Neither am I. It was a yellow and black number, wasn't it?
I don't know. I'm not. Well,
I'll tell you what.
Ask Ali Bruce Ball. Is probably into some odd sport like wrestling.
Well, that would be a strange mix, the boat race and wrestling.
I wouldn't rule anything out with Bruce.
Incongruous, one would think. A Mexican, hold on.
Yes.
It's a Mexican wrestling.
Because that's a big sport in Mexico, isn't it?
As is the boat race in certain parts of this country. Gomez goes long, headed forward. A wrestling called Sin Cara, someone has just whispered into my ear. Well,
you're making it up as you go along.
2-0 to Wolverhampton Wanderers. There's not much of a contest here at the minute because Wolves coming forward once again. And Jimenez, he's got Doherty to his right, he's got Jota to his left. It's out towards Doherty, who got the first goal. Outside the penalty area, plays it in low. It was aimed towards Jota, cleared by Capoue. Watford just can't get into the game. Wolverhampton Wanderers just too strong. And now you're getting the Olays. 19 minutes remaining. They will celebrate long and hard into the night, the Wolverhampton Wanderers.
Where they've been absolutely outstanding decision-making. They have that threat up top. Jimenez and Jota. Power, pace, strength, ability. They've got the cleverness in midfield. Fit wing-backs. And 3 big doormen at centre-half. But they haven't made any daft decisions. When it's on to play, they play, get back into a shape. Very, very organised. And they need to go long. They've got that threat, haven't they?
Certainly have, leading by 2-0. Dale Feo picks up the ball now outside the centre circle of his own half. Kiko's going to come on the overlap. Dale Feo holds on to the ball and plays it to Kiko, but Wolves have everybody back. The ball is played forward to Dale Feo, and then Bolly will just come across and he strides and deals with that and just brushes off Dale Feo and then plays it forward towards Moutinho. Jota caught there by Capu. That'll be a free kick to Wolverhampton Wanderers.
Perfect. See, 22. Jota, mature, that's what he needs to do. Hold the ball in, get his team up the pitch. Special mention for Willy Volley again. Reads the game so well, heads it, kicks it. Does the basics as good as anybody.
Volley goes long with a free kick. Jimenez can't control that ball, but nevertheless puts the thumbs up for the idea. The only wrestlers that I know were a long time ago. It was in the days of Dickie Davies and World of Sport, Big Daddy and Giant Haystacks.
Yeah, I can't beat you with that. They're the only two I know.
Ball played forward by Jota, cut out by Holebas. Of course, Chris Sutton has been the daddy when it comes to sudden death, and that will get another airing tonight. 08085 909 693 and 606. We'll also have the live reaction from the tunnel from this semi-final. Try and bring you as much reaction as we can from the winning camp as the ball is played in. Doherty, and caught then by John Ruddy.
Good keeping.
He hasn't had a shot to save, has he?
No, but it's about concentration, isn't it? Plucking the crosses out of the air. I mean, they have such strength in depth, and you think that John Ruddy is Wolves' number 2. You look through their squad, you look at their bench, the players they have at their disposal to bring on. And you spoke about them being, not the biggest squad, but a very strong squad they've got, Deno.
There is that unity and that spirit that Nuno Espirito Santo has been able to galvanise as Wolverhampton Wanderers cleared by Neves. Jota had a fine game, super game. Jota, he's got the ball, he's running, he goes on the outside of Mariappa. Mariappa tries to hold him off. Real pest, Jota. And in the end, Mariappa has to concede a throw. And no wonder the Wolves supporters lift those gold and black scarves aloft and then serenade him, because he's been absolutely terrific, just non-stop.
What an athlete, first and foremost. Credit Mariappa there, put the burners on himself and kept pace with Jota, but he's so direct when he wants to be. Can threaten in behind, good dribbler, good ball carrier. Such a good fit for this Wolves team.
They've travelled in their hordes, and they'll be travelling back in great numbers again next month as Jimenez able to turn. Neves, oh, what a lovely ball through to Doherty, and Holebas it was to take it away inside the penalty area off his toes. Supervision by Neves. Wolverhampton Wanderers always threatening.
Well, that's a poor touch. Doherty, had he taken a good touch, he would have been in at a narrow angle, it has to be said, right hand side of the box. But what a pass from Neves.
Cross comes in, not a bad ball, just dropped away from Decore from Holebas. Kiko right hand side, Kiko with a cross aimed towards Deeney. It's going to drop to Dale Feo, chests it forward, Decore back to Dale Feo, had to take it slightly behind himself, able to turn. Deeney, the angle is tight, blocked, cleared away by Wolves, won back by Mariappa, plays it out to Holebas, the left back, chips it forward, headed away by Bolly. I know we've been talking about wrestling as Jota picks up the ball once again, turns away from Mariappa. He's beaten Mariappa, a one-pace Mariappa, out to Jimenez. Then Donker's making a run into the penalty area. Behind him is Neves, and Neves' touch just deserted him and allows Watford to bring the ball away. And all of a sudden the game's getting open and stretched. But with Wolverhampton Wanderers leading by 2-0, it means they can really pick off Watford and go in search of a third goal. But at the other end, they look so secure. We've been talking about wrestling, but in boxing parlance, Watford haven't really laid a glove on Wolves.
No, they haven't. And that's a testament to the Wolves centre-halves.
Decore with a shot, charged down. You think back to that opportunity for Gray just past the half hour when he should have put Watford ahead. You think back in stoppage time when it was 1-0 and Cody got the all-important block on Gray. Watford low ball in, cut out this time again by Cody, running facing his own goal inside the 6-yard area. That Wolves defence will not be breached. Watford, though, urged on by their crowd, try and rally once more to try and reduce the arrears. But there was Johnny to cut out the supply from the right to block the cross by Kiko, and Wolves all of a sudden will force Watford back.
Yeah, but fair play to Watford, Deno, giving it a real go.
Ball pumped by Mariappa, brought down off the chest by Holebas. Deulofeu provides the width, far side the left, playing from left to right, 2-0 down. Deulofeu into the feet of Deeney, Deeney able to turn, cleared by Saiss.
Wanted the penalty, Deulofeu.
Holebas forward to Deeney, out of play it goes for a throw.
Well, Michael Oliver waved away the penalty shout from Watford. Deulofeu, left-hand side of the box, feeds the ball into Deeney, follows it. There's a coming together. I think he goes down too easily. He
was holding his ear, but I can only imagine that VAR is not in progress because play is about to continue with a throw on that far side.
There's not enough contact to go down.
In it comes, strong throw, linked towards Deeney, comes out to Deulofeu. Deulofeu chips the ball across. Oh, what a super goal! Deulofeu offers hope for Watford. Super finish, chip the ball right-footed. They've reduced the arrears, and Watford have a glimmer of hope.
Well, delightful from Deulofeu. Is there a sting in the tail from the Hornets? It's a brilliant finish. Left-hand side of the box, a packed box, there's nothing on. 15, 16 yards out, gets his head up, and he feeds the ball, chips the ball over John Ruddy into the far corner. It's a wonderful finish, and Watford have hope.
It was exquisite. Very little backlift. There's almost like a little flick of the right foot after he's just chipped the ball in. His leg just moved out away from him up the right-hand side as he hit it right-footed. It was placed to perfection as it just dropped inside the post. And Watford, who have rallied, all of a sudden coming forward. I tell you what, it might be 3-3 after all.
It's like a lob wedge, wasn't it? To get that trajectory on the ball, the accuracy. There's only one place he can score, and guess what? Unbelievable finish. We said Watford were just building something. You can hear their support getting behind the team. Last 5 or 6 minutes, they've been pushing and pushing. Not over yet.
Ready to take the goal kick. 5 live in the World Service from the BBC, and 10 minutes remain. And Watford have reduced the arrears. Here is Deulofeu, weaving his way but running backwards into the centre circle, out to Holebas. They're looking to finish strongly. They're looking to take this semi-final into extra time. Holebas works over the cross from the left. Deeney heads it up. It's going to drop inside the penalty area. Headed away by Johnny. Touched by Kiko. Pereira for Watford, just inside the touchline. Capoue, yellow and black striped shirts, playing from left to right. Kiko, right-hand side. Kiko's cross, diverted behind. All the momentum is now with Watford, and all the noise is coming from the end to our right from Watford.
Yeah, and all the Watford fans in front of us on their feet, applauding their team on. It is all Watford, and it's Wolves who are looking weary now and hanging on in there.
80,092 are inside Wembley Stadium this afternoon. The end to our left is silent. They're apprehensive. They're nervous of Wolverhampton Wanderers. Watford, on the other hand, are hopeful. They have a corner kick. It'll be an in-swinger. Holebas to take it. Left-footed. Flicked behind. Another corner kick. Came off a Wolves' head. Doucouré's going to cross to take it on that far side. He'll place the ball down. That tall, lean, gangly figure. And Deulofeu, who's got the goal, now looks for an assist. the substitute with the corner kick on that far side. Wolves have everybody back, all in white. In comes the corner from Deulofeu. Jimenez will head it away. Cleared then by Jota. One back by Kiko for Watford. Out to Deulofeu, far side to left. 5 Live in the World Service. 8 minutes of normal time remain. Decore, central position, midway through the Wolves half. Capoue now will run out into space. Very, very narrow, the Watford attack creates that little bit of width on this right-hand side. Decore runs into it. Decore then back towards Capoue. Where's the delivery? Where's the ball? In it comes now. Drops on the edge of the area. Little touch by Deeney. Holebas charged down. Another corner kick. Watford piling on the pressure.
They are piling it on. It's a French connection down the right-hand side. Capoue into Decore. They work it well. Ball into the box. And Wolves scramble it clear.
Clapping in unison. The yellow and black flags are flying. Watford have another corner. Far side to left. This will be an outswinger. Wolves lead 2-1. In comes the corner kick now. Didn't beat the first man. Jimenez will head the ball away for Wolverhampton Wanderers. Deulofeu lays it back out towards that far side. Holebas to Pereira. Pereira on the ball. The playmaker goes down the left-hand side of the penalty area. Moutinho has gone with him. Now Wolverhampton Wanderers are firmly on the back foot. They had protected their goalkeeper ever so well, but Watford keep on coming. They keep on knocking. Time, though, is running out. 2-1 to Wolves. Deulofeu can't wriggle his way through, and Neves will volley the ball high downfield. Kiko, the right back, controls the ball. Bennett's going to be coming on. Defensive reinforcements are being called by Nuno Espirito Santo. Header away by Dendoncker. Picked up by Neves. Plays it short out towards the right hand side, and Moutinho now finds Jimenez over on that far side, the right. Then Dendoncker will run into a little bit of space, but he'll go behind him to Doherty. Will carry the ball over the halfway line and back with the Mexican as Bennett waits to come on. Jimenez holds the ball up, back towards Doherty. Doherty inside the penalty area. He looked towards Johnny. Kiko made a challenge. Comes out to Moutinho. Chips the ball forward. Jota inside the penalty area. Flag stays down. Wolves lead 2-1. Jota can't go in between two players. It'll be Decore who'll clear for Watford. And we have 6 minutes of normal time remain. An animated Javi Gracia urges on those yellow and black striped shirts as the ball is back in the Wolves penalty area with John Ruddy.
Just a little bit of breathing space. Moutinho and Neves working the ball well, showing good maturity in that midfield. Half a chance for Wolves, but cut out, and here it comes again.
Stirring finish to a stirring cup semi-final. Played forward by Holebas. Aimed towards Deeney, dropped behind him, didn't know where the ball was. Volley will clear. Dendoncker. Challenge from behind by Capoue.
Challenge. Needless. Can understand it. In the heat of the battle he goes to ground, but it just allows Wolves to make the substitution now and bolster that back line.
Neves is going to be coming off.
There's two now coming on.
The other change is going to be Cavaliero. I'm surprised that Traore's not coming on as an out ball, you know, with his pace. Just knock the ball long and let Roadrunner run after it.
Well, I have to say, Jota's not done too badly, has he, in terms of that, and Jimenez, but Cavallero's a pacey player as well, isn't he, a ball carrier.
So Bennett will come on for Neves. Saiss, I would imagine, then moves into a defensive midfield role for Bennett to go alongside Cody and Bolly at the back. Cavaliero's getting his final instructions.
Well, yep, that's what's happened. Saiss just sitting in front of the back three.
Ball played long. 4 minutes of normal time remain. 5 Live in the World Service. We've got the Champions League to look forward to on Tuesday and Wednesday. We've got the Premier League tomorrow, Chelsea against West Ham. Tuesday, 5 Live, Tottenham, Manchester City. Sports Extra for Liverpool, Porto. Old Trafford Wednesday night, Manchester United against Barcelona. But this is the FA Cup semi-final. And the way Watford are finishing, we might even have extra time yet. They're trailing by 2-1. Pereira picks up the ball, feeds it towards Deeney, to Gray. He tried to lay it back towards Deeney, and Bolly was there. Kept in play by Kiko. Kiko's cross from the right-hand side, and Ruddy gets there. And the second time of asking.
fingertips from Ruddy. It's a really good ball in, but he does really well, John Ruddy. Anticipates it. It's whipped in across the 6-yard line. He palms it up in the air and gets it at the second attempt.
Credit to Watford, because at 2-0 they looked a resigned face on Javi Gracia, but they have rallied and they really are putting pressure on Wolverhampton Wanderers. But time is not on their side. 3 minutes of normal time remain. 2-1 to Wolverhampton Wanderers. Capoue, Pereira just outside the centre circle, strokes it back to Cathcart. Pereira now will take over in the centre circle, finds De La Feu. De La Feu has certainly made an impression and an impact after coming off the bench. Does a couple of step overs, back to Pereira, back to De La Feu. De La Feu with a cross, it's going to fall to Holebas. Holebas over the top of the crossbar. Goal kick, Wolves still lead 2-1.
Oh, it's beautifully worked down the right hand side. De La Feu, who's made such an impact since he's come on, feeds the ball into Pereira. Lovely weighted pass back into De La Feu, gets to the byline, fires the ball across. It comes to Holebas, left-footed, who lashes it from the edge of the box wildly over the bar, and Wolves can make the substitution.
Not surprised that Jota is the one coming off. He's run himself ragged today. He's been superb up front. Cavaliero to replace him. Under 2 minutes remaining of normal time. Been talking a lot about wrestling. The Wolves supporters will be banging the canvas 3 times. Submission. Let the referee blow his final whistle. Those 2 minutes plus added on time are going to seem like an eternity if you're a supporter of Wolverhampton Wanderers. As De La Feu flicks it back, Kiko, Mariappa, Gomez wheels his arm, urges them to push on forward. They've got to go long, they've got to hurry up. Of Watford going to find out how much added on time there will be. Now the ball goes long by Capoue, headed on by Deeney, drops inside the D, good header there by Bennett, picked up by Pereira for Watford, out towards Holebas over on that left-hand side, just in from the touchline, almost level with the penalty area. Holebas comes on the inside, Holebas is away, he's into the penalty area, tries to fire it across the goal, blocked, comes out to Deeney, Deeney back to Gray, Gray's going to try and tee up Capoue, Bolly is there again, he's hardly missed a thing at the back, as Bolly just steps bravely into the challenge. Out of play, goes for a throw. They take it quickly. They have to take it quickly. De La Feu loses the ball and Johnny will clear.
Hardly missed a thing. He hasn't missed a thing.
Ball played forward by Mariappa. Headed on by Deeney. Won't fall towards Gray. Dendoncker is back there. And Deeney just threw himself into the challenge with Dendoncker.
Well, it just allows Wolves to breathe again. I tell you, Ryan Bennett's done well, a couple of occasions, right place, right time to head the ball away and clear it. Deeney having words with Dendoncker, frustration. Clever from Dendoncker, he draws Deeney in. Now Wolves just want to run the clock down.
We're going to find out how much added on time there will be. 4 minutes of added on time. We're now into those minimum of 4 minutes. They reached the semi-final under Quique Sanchez Flores 3 years ago. They were beaten 2-1 that day by Crystal Palace. They trail by the same scoreline here in 2019 to Watford, as they now look for a late equaliser to force extra time.
Lovely touch, wasn't it, from Decore?
Here is Decore. Kiko goes on the overlap, not required. Seiss back in his own penalty area, flicks the ball out of play, about 6 yards up from the corner flag on the right hand side. Kiko's going to take it. They're attacking the end where the Watford fans are desperate. They're willing the ball to cross the net, across the goal line into the back of the net for an equaliser, as the ball goes into the penalty area and the referee blows his whistle and it's a free kick for Wolverhampton Wanderers. Deeney backing into Dendoncker.
Yeah, he's given absolutely everything. Deeney, the Watford leader, goes up early, pulls Dendoncker down, and no rush from Wolves. They have been pushed to the limit, you have to say. At 2-0 you're thinking, Watford, they could have felt sorry for themselves, but this is a different Watford this season, isn't it? A Watford team with belief in their manager, belief in the way they're playing.
The 4 times winners of the FA Cup have just got to see through the 4 added on minutes for Wolverhampton Wanderers to be back in the FA Cup final for the first time since 1960. But Watford aren't finished just yet. Decore to Deulofeu, who turns right hand side down the line. Decore crosses into the penalty area. Deeney the challenge. Penalty. Troy Deeney has won a penalty in the second minute of added on time. It was the challenge by Dendoncker. It will of course go to VAR. This will now be checked. But what drama! What drama here at Wembley!
Well, is there enough contact from Dendoncker? The ball's whipped in from the right hand side. Deeney gets across Dendoncker. He gets the touch and there is contact from Dendoncker. Deeney goes to ground. Michael Oliver hesitated at first, but I think this will be given. Goes to VAR. It's a coming together. How much contact? They're checking.
It's not being shown on the screen actually, it just says on the screen checking penalty.
Stick or twist from Oliver.
We're still waiting. The suspense is unbearable.
Right decision.
But it is a penalty that has been awarded after the VAR check. Wolverhampton Wanderers, who were 2-0 up, and Watford have a chance now to level in added on time.
He's a blaster, isn't he, Deeney? What will Ruddy do?
Troy Deeney, the 4th top scorer in Watford's history. He's been involved in 9 goals in his last 13 FA Cup appearances. Troy Deeney from the penalty spot in added on time to take us to extra time. Deeney against Ruddy. Deeney blasted! Watford were 2-0 down. It's 2-2. There is a sting in the tail and we're going to extra time.
Oh, I tell you what, under pressure, what a penalty this is. And I said he was a blaster, but he's hammered the ball to Ruddy's right-hand side. No chance from the keeper, who goes the right way. What a comeback this is from Watford. Stuck in there, kept going, probed, and it's power which beats Ruddy. When you want the man who has the courage, it's Deeney, the leader, who steps up.
Javi Gracia just punched the air with delight. I can't remember who Troy Deeney once talked about, but he said they lack cojones. I'll tell you what, Troy Deeney certainly showed his cojones there, because the pressure must have been absolutely immense to take us to extra time.
It was, and he did put his foot through it. There's a penalty, full of belief, backed himself on the big stage, blimey.
Well. Wolverhampton Wanderers, as the final whistle at the end of 90 minutes is blown, will be dispirited. They were so close, and whilst it's all subdued away to our left, the yellow, the red, the black flags, and the Watford fans are bouncing up and down, because we have another 30 minutes to go. Jonathan, 2-2. Thank you, Jonathan. Well, when they broke, a bounding Capoue was like a cheerleader. Not that the Watford fans need any of that, because there is just such a stark contrast still between the two sets of supporters here. The flags are still flying by Watford, but you can see they're still dejected in the Wolverhampton Wanderers end. Some of them are sat down, they'll still be thinking how close that they were. And of course Watford had made positive substitutions with Deulofeu, whereas Wolves had brought on Bennett to move Saiss into midfield. Theirs were to try and shore up and see out the game from Nuno Espirito Santo, quite understandably. So they've used 2. There is another substitution permitted, of course, in extra time, so you can use 4 in total now. but all of a sudden there's been just such a shift in momentum, and it's Wolves who now have to pick themselves back off the canvas.
Yeah, but it's got the makings of a brilliant extra time, because Wolves, we know they like to counter.
Doherty forward through. So neither side has made a change. So in this second half, Watford in their black and yellow striped shirts and black shorts have Gomez in goal, the back four of Kiko, Cathcart, Mariappa and Holebas, midfield of Capu, Decore, Pereira, De La Feo, Gray and Deeney. Wolverhampton Wanderers in all white have John Ruddy in goal, back three now of Bennett, Cody, Bolly, with Saiss in midfield alongside Moutinho, Doherty and Johnny, the wing-backs, Dendoncker, who gave away the penalty, Cavaliero and Jimenez. BBC Radio 5 Live and the World Service from the BBC. Watford 2, Wolverhampton Wanderers 2. 2 goals in the last 11 minutes of the regulation 90, and we have the additional 30.
Yeah, Troy Deeney just getting some sort of energy drink or bar there, and I think Watford are just having a little bit of a breather.
Cavaliero keeps the ball in play, 10 yards up from the corner flag, comes back to Jimenez. Didn't seem, the way that the game was going when Wolves were 2-0 up, you just didn't see Watford getting back into it, because Wolves just looked so strong. Got to take your hats off to Watford, the way that they did recover, and this man certainly played his part. De La Feo, he's been a game changer, gets away from Saiss on that far side, through towards Decore. Mind you, he's had an outstanding game at the back. Bolly comes across again and then plays the ball across to Doherty. So Wolves in all white, playing from left to right as we look. 6:06 to follow after extra time, and who knows, the way that this cup semi-final is going, you still wouldn't rule out the penalty shootout either. Here's Johnny Cavaliero, just in from the touchline, left-hand side. Cavaliero with a cross, caught by Gomez, all in red. Underarm throw out to Pereira. Pereira to Deeney. Deeney turns. It was Gray who was trying to make that diagonal run because Bennett had ventured forward. It created that little bit of space for Gray. As Doherty is forward now for Wolves. Threads it through. Cavaliero in the penalty area. Plays it back. Jimenez waits. Jimenez with a cross. He's picked out Johnny. And Gomez got something on that. That'll be a corner kick.
Yeah, and as Wolves, who have started this extra time, the better team, is a good spot from Jimenez to the left wing back. Johnny from right across the box to the left hand side, who takes a touch on his chest and he cuts across the ball. I think it may have just been going over, but Gomez can't take a chance with that.
Turns out my Russian comrade from the World Cup in the summer, Pat Nevin, was right after all. There was going to be goals in this cup semi-final. Corner kick. Will there be a fifth goal? Corner kick for Wolves. It's an in-swinger. Gomez has come a long way off his line. Johnny goes on the outside of Decore. Right-hand side, cross into the area, headed away by Holebas. Cavaliero. Moutinho for Wolves. Cavaliero back pedals, just in from the left touchline, comes in field now, has a little bit of space to run into. He's still going in field, but Capu has forced him away from goal. Now comes to Doherty for Wolves, threads it through. Dendoncker to Cavaliero. Cavaliero in the penalty area, the ball wouldn't sit for him to try and strike it. Holebas has gone down with either a dead leg or cramp, and Pereira will put the ball out of play to allow the physio to come on to treat him.
Yes, well defended from Holebas, but just wondered, an opportunity for Cavaliero to strike that first time. Tried to take a touch. This doesn't look good for Holebas. I'm no medical expert, as you well know, Deno, but I think he's injured his hamstring, and that will be the end of his afternoon.
Well, they have Messina and Yanna as defensive options on the bench, as Javi Gracia is just having a word with Andre Gray at the moment.
Looks like Road Runner is coming on as well. Traore, the quickest player on PlayStation in the Premier League.
You know how he knew he was coming on? He heard the beep beep. Traore's getting stretched, ready for action. Now, I mean, he's still very, very raw. The other change, because he's going to not be able to continue, it's going to be 11. Adam Messina, who's going to replace Holebas. Is he able to continue? He's at least standing up. The stretcher was lying in wait on the edge of the playing surface just down in front of us, but he's feeling his hamstring, and you can't afford to take the risk, can you, at such a stage in a game?
I mean, you just can't play on if you tweak your hamstring. Any strain.
Well, he's going to continue. Messina's gone.
It must be cramped then. He couldn't have tweaked it.
Jota and Neves, of course, are off the field of play. They're both penalty takers for Wolves.
Well, I'll tell you what, though, if he does have a dodgy hamstring and Traore comes on, I mean, that doesn't bode well, does it?
No.
You'd want your hamstring in full fettle.
Well, he's going to try and brave it. We're 6.5 minutes into the first period of extra time. It's been a terrific semi-final. Wolves 2, Watford 2. 5 Live and the World Service from the BBC. Cleared away then by Gomez, headed away by Doherty. Tidied up by Cathcart. Back to Gomez. Gomez strikes it long.
Makes you laugh, doesn't it, all these people?
It's gone down again, Holebas.
Yeah, he's not going to last, but all these people who talk about the FA Cup and saying it's been devalued. If you turned up this afternoon to watch this spectacle, 2 sets of supporters, the stadium more or less full, other than one sort of little middle section. I mean, what a game.
So Adam Messina is going to replace Jose Holebas. So that's their second substitution. They've still got another 2. And Traore is yet to come on for Wolves. Nuno Espirito Santo, just for the time being, is waiting. If Traore came on, who do you think would go off?
It's not going to be Cavallero, is it?
It's not going to be Jimenez either.
It's more likely to be Jimenez than Cavallero, isn't it? Cavallero's just come on.
Brave to take off a top goal scorer, wouldn't it?
So you're saying he's going to take off Cavallero, the most humiliating substitution in FA Cup history.
Or does he take off Johnny on the other side? It'll be an interesting one, because Traore is getting his final instructions. We're going to find out very, very soon. Messina to take a throw. Midway through the Wolves half. Aims it towards the penalty area. Headed away by Saiss. Out of play it goes for a throw.
How tense. Look at both sets of supporters. The tension in this stadium.
We've gone full circle now. We've gone back to where we started, where you can't call it. In it goes with a long throw. Headed away by Bennett, the substitute. It's going to fall to Decore. Strikes it. Oh, that caught, I think, not Johnny, who was it? Caught Moutinho full in the face. Jimenez chases a back pass to Gomez, who's quickly outside of his penalty area. Picks out Messina and it's headed on. Headed away then by Bennett for Wolves. Hooked downfield, long by Moutinho. Cavaliero will chase after it. Good defending by Cathcart. Couldn't take the risk of going back to Gomez because Cavaliero had sensed that. He's going to cut it out. Instead he goes forward. Pereira to Dini, who scored in the 94th minute to take us into extra time at 2-2. Kiko, far side the right. 5 minutes remain of extra time in the first period here at Wembley Stadium. Moutinho is going to be coming off. Just seen the 4th official flash it. Here is Deulofeu. You've got to, by the way, see the goal for Deulofeu that made it 2-1. It was a superb chip. And that hope eventually Wasn't extinguished, they were able to build on it, and it became reality as they levelled. In comes the cross from the right-hand side, headed away by Bennett. Nice little touch by Deulofeu, kills the ball dead. Deeney going away from the penalty area, Dendoncker, then he's caught there by Capoue. And Capoue has shown a yellow card. The third Watford player to be booked.
Yep. The correct decision as Tino comes off.
So here he comes, Adama Traore. Gone 27 games without a goal. His only goal was that one against West Ham United back in September, as he comes on to replace the tiring legs of João Moutinho in the midfield. And so you've got Traore now on the right-hand side, Cavaliero on the left, Jimenez is through the middle.
They're 3-4-3 now, aren't they?
Ball goes long by Cody, towards Doherty, who's pushed on, headed by Messina, played forward by Capoue to Pereira, plays it in field, goes past Decore. Groans of despair by the Watford supporters as Watford give the ball away. Johnny on the far side, the left. 3 minutes have added on time in the first period, 2-2. In this absorbing FA Cup semi-final. Traore running as Messina backpedals into the penalty box, the cross, cleared then by Capoue. You could hear the Wolves supporters when he picked up the ball expecting something from Traore.
He's such a threat, isn't he? He's so unpredictable, I don't think he knows what he's doing half the time.
Keeps the ball in play on the right-hand side, dances around the ball, plays it back. Is he going to use his teammate who's there, Doherty?
Should just give it to him earlier.
Goes out of play, it's a throw. It's gone cagey again now, hasn't it? Which, in a way, just adds to the intrigue.
Absolutely. Well, I think Watford gave it so much, didn't they, in the last 15-20 minutes of normal time, and it's just taken a little bit of a lull in extra time. But we're back to the stage where there is so much at stake. Nobody wants to make a mistake. They're sort of punched out a little bit. Will the substitutions make a difference?
Gray touches it to Deulofeu. Back towards Gray. Gray to Deulofeu. Deulofeu into the penalty area. Deulofeu steers the ball past John Ruddy. What an impact he has made, and what a remarkable fight back. Watford were 2-0 down. They now lead by 3-2 as they eye a potential first FA Cup final in 35 years, and Deulofeu has certainly contributed to that transformation. What a finish!
Well, staggering comeback from Watford. Talk about a substitute making the difference. This is brilliant from Deulofeu. What an impact. Little give and go with Andre Gray, who put a perfectly weighted ball back into Deulofeu's path, and it's a wonderful finish, composed finish. Knows exactly what he wants to do. First touch right foot, and it slides the ball past Ruddy into the far corner. What a comeback from Watford.
And what about Andre Gray? The way that he just held onto the ball, weighted it forward to Deulofeu, who had the pace to go outside Cody, and then just guided the ball. Very, very composed, clinical finish. And Wolverhampton Wanderers, who remember were so close in 90 minutes to going through to the final, it's now they who have to produce the fight back. It's they who have to try and summon up the energy, because Watford lead by 3-2.
And we know this type of game doesn't really suit Wolves, but here's Traore.
Traore with a burst of speed. Excellent challenge made by Messina. It's one of those draining experiences in terms of the emotions that the supporters, whether you're from Wolves or Watford, have experienced today. The delight, the delirium for Wolverhampton Wanderers to be 2-0 up. That fear and that nervousness and that level of apprehension when it gets to 2-1, and then that dread when it gets to 2-2. And on the other hand, Watford then with the sheer exhilaration in added on time to make it 2-2 in such dramatic scenario with it went to VAR before the penalty was awarded, and now fueled by just the adrenaline as they are now leading by 3-2. In comes the throw, hooked away by Dale Feo. What a difference he has made. Gray with a break for Watford. Dale Feo is going on ahead of him. Back towards Gray on the far side, streaking through the middle is Decore. Watford lead by 3-2. Dale Feo, he's on a hat-trick, and he holds onto the ball on that far side. Nice little flick. Kiko on the overlap, crosses from the right-hand side. Doherty, composed header back towards Ruddy.
Well, he's the one who's made the difference, hasn't he? Dale Feo.
Ruben Vinagre is going to be coming on very soon. Wolves are going to make another change. Jimenez, though, is on the attack. Jimenez towards the penalty area. I know what you're going to say if Wolves equalise. You're going to say, I told you I was right, 3-3.
I tell you, it's good defending from Mariappa. Jimenez faced him up left-hand side of the box, dragged it onto his left foot. Mariappa gets back.
We're in 2 minutes of added on time. In the first period of extra time. Wolves 2, Watford 3. Corner kick, caught by Gomez. The cheers will tell you that. And by my watch, the 2 minutes of added on time in this first period of extra time are all but over. Michael Oliver blows his whistle. The first period of extra time is over. It's Watford 3, Wolverhampton Wanderers 2. As the second period of extra time is underway. And Watford lead by 3-2. Wolves have used their fourth and final substitution. Ruben Vinagre has come on to replace Johnny. It's like for like on that left-hand side. Watford are going to be making another change. In fact, they might be making two. I saw that Ken Sema was going to be coming on. The minute I can see Yammat also ready for Watford. So maybe a change of heart by Javi Gracia. And Chris Sutton, earlier you said you're no medical expert. Well, I'm no lip-reading expert, but I saw an image at half-time of Nuno Espirito Santo, and twice I saw him utter the words, "Believe it, believe it," and he was wagging his index finger as if to say you've got one more chance. And it was also repeated by Connor Cody as Traore will make a run over on that far side, the right, and wins a corner kick. So in this second period of extra time, attacking the end away to our left, that's where the Wolves supporters are, about 34,000 of them. Wolves attacking that end of gold and black, hoping for a golden moment as those all in white have a corner kick. Huddle of players, in comes the corner kick from the right. Watford in their yellow and black striped shirts will break, and Gray to Dale Feo, who's on a hat-trick. The substitute running forward, he passes the ball to Gray. Gray reaches the ball, edge of the area, lifts it forward, and eventually it will be dealt with by Cody. Some tired legs out there, Chris Sutton.
Oh, they're just slugging it out now, aren't they?
Offside.
Well, Wolves now have to do a Watford in terms of belief, and there's still something in it for them. They'll be thinking, Nuno will be thinking, give me one chance. Can we create something in this last 12, 13 minutes?
Daryl Yammat is going to replace Kiko on that far side. That will be like for like, as it's the third substitution that Watford, so they've still got one more allowed for Javi Gracia. Did have a thought earlier today where I remembered our great friend Graham Taylor, who of course managed both of these two sides, and I'm sure, do I like that as a semi-final, because it has been an absolute belter, hasn't it? It's delivered what we thought it would.
Absolutely, one of the great semi-finals.
Flick header there by Deeney. Gray unable to turn and get the shot away. Deeney plays it forward. Gray was almost in. Little drag flick there by Decore cleared away by Vinagre, up towards Jimenez. Seems such a long time ago when he put Wolverhampton Wanderers.
He's got to be careful. Capoue. That's another. He's on a yellow.
He is.
Pulls down Jimenez. But one of the great stories in terms of believing, you have to keep believing at 2-0. We all thought the game was over. One moment of brilliance turned the game on its head.
Traore goes on it alone, bursting his way through, stopped by Pereira. Since Graham actually took Watford to the final back in 1984, this is their 5th semi-final. They've lost the previous 4, as we said, most recently under Quique Sanchez Flores. It would be only their 2nd time in an FA Cup final, and it would certainly herald a terrific season under Javi Gracia, who is the first manager, the 10th manager by the way under the Pozzo since they took charge in 2012 to have a contract extension. He's on course for the highest finish since 86-87, 14th last season under him, and maybe to take them through to a showpiece final as well to boot. But as Chris Sutton says, you just wouldn't rule anything out the way that this game has changed course.
Deulofeu defending. And he's waving to the bench. He's just gone down. He sat down now.
Picked up an injury.
Yep. Vinagre down the left-hand side. Deulofeu stops the cross. He's laid down on the floor.
Javi Gracia actually wasn't aware that he'd gone down. He was talking to one of his assistants, and it was the physios who barged past him to alert him. Now, whether this is just a bit of time wasting, in fact, Michael Oliver is refusing the physio to come on, and Gracia is telling him, get back up to your feet. Corner is taken. Oh, Michael Oliver says it's going to be retaken. Well, Deulofeu is hobbling at the minute. He can hardly walk. 3-2 to Watford. They were 2-0 down. Corner kick, though, to Wolverhampton Wanderers. Caballero to take it in towards the near post.
The touch, didn't he, was it?
Then Donker had made that run. Comes back to Caballero. It's an in-swinger! And the header from Jimenez is wide. Goal kick.
I think Gomez just does enough. As a really good ball whipped in from Caballero, left-hand side. Jimenez gets across the near post. And I think Wolves may be hard done by there. Good goalkeeping. Yeah, I think the last touch comes off Gomez and goes wide, but the medical staff on the pitch now.
He's struggling. Deulofeu's gone back down to sit back down on the ground, still struggling. We'll just add a little bit more of added on time.
With buying time so they can make the substitution.
Well, that would be Sama Kent. Oh no, Sama's on, isn't he? So they've got another one. No, they've used their 4. They've used their 4. They've got Janmaat, Deulofeu, Messina and Sema.
No, Sema's
no, Sema didn't come on. There he is. I put a tick next to him. So here he is. This is the 4th and final one. Deulofeu doesn't want to come off. He doesn't want to come off. But Javi Gracia saying can't take that risk. So Ken Sema is going to come on. And the substitute is being substituted. But no wonder he gets 3 pats on the back and a rub on the head, because he has transformed and has been a catalyst for this comeback from Watford. Deulofeu.
The game changer, wasn't it? Him coming on and made such a difference. One of the great goals we've seen in FA Cup semi-final history. Get his team back in it, and then you could see how much belief Watford had. They had the urgency to keep going, piling the pressure on, and got their rewards.
He helped Sevilla reach the Europa League final in 2015. Didn't actually feature in the final itself. Hope from his point of view the injury isn't a serious one, if Watford are indeed to take on Manchester City here on May the 18th, as they lead by 3-2, and we're halfway through the second period of extra time. BBC Radio 5 Live and the World Service, and still so much live football to look forward to over the next few days as Deeney comes charging forward. Deeney stopped by Saiss, out towards Doherty. Charges forward, looks towards Traore, little flick inside. Caballero will keep the ball for the all-white of Wolves. Doherty lays it out towards Traore. Traore running forward. Has to go past Pereira.
Wow.
Goes past him, goes past another, and then the cross is caught at his near post by Gomez. Just that burst of speed there by Traore. Took out two players in the process.
They just can't live with him, can they? Three Watford players go out on that left-hand side. He just got that injection, that burst, that energy to get away from all of them. But not the best cross, and Gomez gathers.
Size for Wolves, tackled by Dini. Pereira goes in for a 50-50 with Traore. Traore gets away, prods it forward, runs loose. Free kick though is awarded in favour of Wolverhampton Wanderers. And we have 6 minutes remaining in this second period of extra time. 6:06 on its way with Chris and Alistair Bruce Ball. 080859009 and 693. A high line from Watford to defend this free kick. It's going to be taken 10 yards inside the Watford half. It's floated forward, drops inside the penalty area, headed in by Saiss, headed away by Decore, and controlled on this near side by Janmaat. Strikes it long. Troy Deeney will give chase. Ruddy comes out of his goal and lifts it forward. Capoue will get there first and gets plenty of distance on his header. Vinagre's downward header runs straight towards Sema, who waits and leaves it now towards Deeney. 5 minutes of added on time remain. Ball dinked forward, stays in play. Sema on this near side. Challenged by Bolly. Last touch though.
They're both punched out, aren't they? Both teams just slugged it out, haven't they? And for Wolves, it's about just trying to gather enough energy for one last go, one last burst.
They're in no hurry to take the throw. Eating away at what are valuable seconds for Watford in front of their celebrating supporters, as Deeney can't keep the ball in play and it goes out for a goal kick, and he runs it even further towards the advertising hoardings behind that goal, as John Ruddy hurriedly has to take it quickly. Doherty, who gave Wolves the lead. It was a lead that was increased. It was a lead that was at 2-0 with 11 minutes of normal time remaining. But it's a lead now that has completely evaporated, as Watford have the advantage by 3-2. Vinagre, near side the left, for Wolverhampton Wanderers. Crosses from the left-hand side into the penalty area. Jimenez is there, and his touch just deserted him.
Yeah, one of the first times this afternoon. Good play down the left-hand side. Vinagre whips the ball in, and Jimenez, everything is stuck this afternoon. Gets across the near post. Up until then, just bounces away into Gomez's arms.
Ball cleared long by Gomez, right through to Ruddy. Hurriedly bolted out, overarm towards Bennett. Those in gold and black beckon the Wolves team to come a little bit closer towards them, because that's the way that Wolves are attacking from right to left. Doherty has stayed forward on that right-hand side, and Wolves will win a throw. Level with the penalty area on that right-hand side. Just over 3 minutes of added on time remain. Traore goes on the outside, works over the cross, but it drifts behind and out of play, and the cheers from the Watford supporters as Cathcart goes down with cramp. It's a goal kick.
That's the problem with Traore. He is erratic. He can be such a handful on his day. Watford using all their experience, going down, slowing things down. But you have to say Wolves have lost their creators now in the middle of the pitch. Neves, Matinho.
Yeah, they lost the outlet with Jota, who was superb. Here is Caballero out to Jimenez. Caballero going on ahead of him. Here is Caballero. Caballero goes around the goalkeeper, and he just couldn't get it out from underneath his feet to take it goalwards. And Mariappa running back steers it behind for a corner kick. Was that the chance that Wolves wanted? If it was, he couldn't take it.
It was just the last kick, the last step from Cavallero. He takes it superbly, lovely slide rule pass into Cavallero, goes round Gomez, such a narrow angle, and he stumbles at the last.
Corner kick, played out. Vinagre left corner of the penalty area, charged down, still into the penalty area. Gomez will punch. It's going to come out towards Cody, lifts it back into the penalty area, headed away by Cathcart. And Decore can't find the out ball towards Gray. Vinagre just inside the Watford half. 90 seconds remain. Capu wins the ball. Counter-attack. Deeney grimacing, head down, runs forward. Corner of the penalty area, delivers the cross. It's an arcing ball in from the penalty, and it goes away from Decore and out of play for a throw. And Watford are close. Watford now are in the position that Wolves were in the normal 90. They can smell the FA Cup final on May the 18th. We're inside the last 60 seconds. Wolves have to go long. Mariappa will head the ball away. And Sema will play the ball out to Janmaat. And his ball will go forward. Deeney was almost dead on his feet. He's just slumped on the advertising hoardings. He's given it absolutely everything.
Well,
this has been some effort from Watford.
Well, and led by Deeney. He's given it, right, absolutely everything. He's the one they look to, the one to inspire them, the one to keep them going, keep them running, keep them working, keep them believing.
The belief has all but expired for Wolverhampton Wanderers, because we're about to find out how much added on time there will be.
There must be a few minutes.
The whistles are coming from the Watford supporters. They lead by 3-2. 2 minutes of added on time, which we're now into. BBC Radio 5 Live and the World Service from the BBC. Bolly kept in play by Vinagre on this near side, helped out by Saiss. Free kick to Wolves. It's got to go long. No other option. 10 yards inside their own half. It's got to go long.
Yep, and really Bolly going forward. This is it, isn't it? For Wolves, Watford trying to hold a high line, 10 yards outside the box.
Cody strikes it forward. 25 yards out from goal. Break for Watford, headed on by Pereira. Gray ahead of him, Deeney also. Decore joining the attack. The white shirts are coming back. Pereira's only going in one place. Down on that left touchline, that far side, offside, towards the corner flag. Offside against Deeney. And by my watch now, we're into the last 60 seconds. The last 60 seconds of added on time. Ruddy, hurriedly, knocks it long. Bolly heads it on in the centre circle. Jimenez tries to play it out towards Vinagre. Stabbed forward by Saiss. Vinagre's cross. Traore couldn't get there. Doherty couldn't control the ball. A supporter in front of me slams his hand into the red bucket seat. Kept alive. Traore the cross. Headed away. Comes out to Vinagre. 3-2 to Watford. Vinagre's cross. Cleared by Janmaat. Watford now maybe can break. Decore plays it to Gray. Gray in the centre circle will hold on to the ball. Plays it forward to safety. That surely is it. Tidied up at the back by Bennett. Played forward by Ruddy. The cheers from the Watford fans will tell you when the final whistle goes. Gomez clears. By my watch, the 2 minutes are now over. The 2 minutes are complete. Michael Oliver blows his whistle. The Wolves players sink in despair to their feet. The Watford players celebrate because Watford are in their first cup final since 1984, and they've done it the hard way. They've come from 2-0 down, but they will play Manchester City on May the 18th in what was an epic semi-final. Watford 3, Wolves 2.